even after we see a painting and we're in the museum and we have to stand at an angle from the Seurat, when we remember the Seurat, we remember it whole and we remember it square. You know, I think it's two-dimensionality means that it often, in our heads, is very much like the document, more so than it is like the thing that we saw when we were in the museum, you know, which has parallax, right? It's like you go up to it, you can you know, sometimes smell the paint, or you can see different angles, or you can notice certain details by moving your body around it. But I think, at least in my case, often when I would then go home and think about the painting, it would always come together in my head back as the whole one. You know, I would remember the specific moments and the specific experiences, and if there was a little brush stroke that Cezanne did that I really appreciated, I will remember that brush stroke. But if I ever think about the painting, it looks like the slide. You know, it looks like the catalog image in the museum. I mean, in the catalog. So, you know, I think that's still kind of the paradigm right now for painting, is you shoot it very straightforward and you shoot it as if it's in some kind of ethereal, heaven-like, you know, plane where there is no wall and there is no space, you know. I think the only people that I know that ever try to document a painting in context are people that have three-dimensional objects coming out of the painting. If the painting has somewhat of a sculptural element, if the painting's positioning relative to a wall or to a floor is very crucial. But besides that, people are very happy, and I'm still able to access it when the work is photographed as if it was in some platonic field, you know, just like pure and had no strings attached to gravity or the real world. I think for me personally, I've always appreciated the shadows, and by what I mean by shadows is not something fuzzy. It's that often you get a very crisp shadow. Sometimes one, depends if you're using one light or two, and that already, it gives you a lot of information.
Maybe when we look at paintings, our mind, you know, I mean, we are viewing it in perspective, and so things will start to diminish, or you know, our eyes are further away from certain parts of the painting. But I think maybe our mind corrects that, you know, and so we sort of, our image of it is of a perfect rectangle. So maybe they're trying to mimic that, you know, that process, that when our mind starts to even out perspectival lines and we sort of view the world in a frontal way. If you showed the image or the painting being skewed, it makes you, pushes you more towards a subjective experience or a subjective presentation of the work that maybe is not what we want. You know, we want to have this very neutral kind of presentation of the work, like, oh, they did everything they could to present it like it might appear not in real life but in the abstract.
Often works